9:03 on Tuesday, December 31st. It's 44 degrees going up to around 60 today with a chance of rain. Good morning. I'm Michelle Basch. Our top local story, this is it, the last day of 2024. And some family-friendly New Year's celebrations around the DMV will start extra early today. For example, Noon Yards Eve at the Yards in D.C. kicks off about an hour from now at 10 a.m. with a balloon drop planned at noon to thrill little ones who can't stay up late. First Night Alexandria begins at 2 p.m. with a waterfront fireworks display scheduled for 6 p.m. It's not clear if today's wet weather in the forecast will change that. And the annual Watch Night celebration in Falls Church runs from 7 p.m. until midnight. 2 people are hurt after a major overnight fire at an apartment complex in Northwest. That started around 1 this morning along Chapin Street, and fire eventually burned through the complex's top floor. D.C. Fire and EMS spokesperson Vito Maggiolo tells NBC4.
We're very fortunate. Yeah, we had two residents, two women who had to be rescued, who were injured. One was carried down a ladder in the rear of the building. The other one was brought through the interior, both taken to area hospitals. But those are the only injuries that we're aware of. Now we're dealing with, as you pointed out, unfortunately, 35 displaced residents. There's a shelter that's been opened at the Columbia Heights Recreation Center, and representatives from our department, the D.C. Homeland Security and Emergency Management Agency, the Mayor's Office, and the American Red Cross are all there lending a helping hand.
Maggiolo says no one living in any of the building's 20 apartments will be able to return this New Year's Eve. It could feel like spring today with temps topping out in the 60s, but that will change once we hit 2025 and an Arctic blast heads our way this weekend. WTOP's Luke Lukert has details.
The Arctic air mass should settle in our area for essentially the first half of January. 7 News First Alert meteorologist Eileen Whalen.
Expect high temperatures this weekend to only reach the low to mid-30s, a good 10 to 15 degrees below average.
And early morning temps will be in the 20s. And that's not even factoring in the wind chill.
The cold air will be in place, that Arctic air mass settling in this weekend. So when the precipitation starts Monday morning, it will fall as snow and will stick.
Now, there is some data that shows this storm may miss us entirely, but there's still a chance that Monday morning your commute could include a little snow. Luke Lukert, WTOP News.
We are learning more about plans to honor former President Jimmy Carter here in D.C. After a state funeral is held for Carter in Georgia this weekend, the body of the late president, along with his family, will return to the D.C. area next Tuesday, January 7th. That's when Carter and his family will travel by motorcade from Joint Base Andrews to the U.S. Navy Memorial. There, his remains will be transferred to a horse-drawn caisson for a funeral procession to the U.S. Capitol. Carter will lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda from Tuesday evening through early Thursday morning next week, and the public is invited to pay their respects during that time. Later Thursday morning, a funeral will be held at Washington National Cathedral. WTOP's Grace Newton spoke to a Virginia man who says when he was a reporter for American University's student newspaper, The Eagle, Carter gave him a moment he'll never forget.
Brian Kalish, a freshman at the time, says he was shocked when no upperclassmen volunteered to cover a campus event where former President Carter was speaking. But that meant it was his moment.
President Carter came in, gave remarks, and then the media started asking questions, and I didn't speak. I didn't feel I should speak. I didn't think my question mattered. I didn't think I was important.
And then something special happened.
Right towards the end, President Carter, noticing that I had not spoken, literally goes, "Stop." He looks me right in the eye and he goes, "Young man, what is your question?"
And it left an impact.
Almost 20 years ago now, and it's still how I try to live my life, to make sure everyone in the room has a voice, everyone in the room is heard, because that's what President Carter went out of his way to do.
Grace Newton, WTOP News.
And coming up here on WTOP, hot chocolate ends the year on a sweet note. More business news in the minutes ahead. Traffic and weather in 30 seconds.